Getting ready to do the Tough Mudder. I'm getting ready to do my first one in 2 weeks, so hopefully it won't be so bad that it makes us both cry. In 2 weeks, yeah, so I'll be doing the same one. Strongmen also cry. I read your email. I was looking forward to doing the speech. I knew it was going to be good. This is speech 2, so organization, structure is what you're supposed to be working on. And so the objectives, going by the book, is to have an appropriate outline, make sure you have a clear message with supporting material, appropriate transitions, and strong opening and conclusion. And so you had a really great opening. I'd love to start out with the question, when's the last time you cried? And you do this speech and the last one, you do a great job of adding humor into the speech, so it's not all serious, and you do a great job of getting the audience involved. I think it's really important to always be able to get the audience involved at some point during the speech. And so starting off with a question, I think that was a really good idea. And you had different descriptions of what crying was, and it was kind of funny, and it got us all having a visual in our head. I think that's a great way to start too. And you went on to talk about how men are taught not to cry. And you had a great example of how babies cry when they're hungry, when they're tired, when their diapers are full, and then when you're men, if you cry, people think your diaper's full. But that was a good description of how most people see it, how men aren't supposed to cry. And you had a great example of how your dad cried, and how the story about your dad crying, and how it kind of breaks the mold a little bit of what's normally the case. Your second point, you went on to ask the audience when we think it's okay to cry, when it's acceptable for men to cry. And you had a couple really good examples, 4 or 5 really good examples that really got us thinking. And I definitely think it got me with the Chiefs one. But if it was really close, we got to that would probably get me. And then the one with the hockey team, I was only 2 when that Olympics was around, but The Miracle is my favorite movie, so that would definitely, there's another one that hit home to me. And that's another time in the speech where you got the audience involved. The conclusion of your speech, you went on to answer that question when you think it's okay to cry. And so you had a great quote about suffering that kind of tied it all together really well. What you wanted me to watch for, you wanted to be able to use your speech to stir up the audience's memories and emotions and get them thinking. And so you definitely got me thinking. When you talked about your dad, I thought about my dad. He's kind of the complete opposite. I've never seen him show much emotion. It's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, he got that nickname very fast. And then you also got me thinking, wow, I guess Rocky does cry a lot. And so you got that. And so it definitely got me thinking a little bit more. And that was a good point there. The improvement I think you could make. I thought the speech was really good, and it's hard to change a lot, but since this project was organizing your speech, I would say the best improvement you could make is you had a couple big points. You had a good introduction and a good body. Conclusion was really small. It was basically just why you think it's okay, and you had suffering. So I think you could have added a lot more to the conclusion about suffering to kind of wrap it up a little bit more. But that's the only thing I could do. For your second speech, that was great. You always have a great mix of humor and seriousness, and you always get the audience involved and get them thinking. So I look forward to seeing many more speeches of you. Thank you.